He's Rich Eisen of the NFL Network, The Rich Eisen Show on DirecTV, the audience network that follows this show. Go to NFL.com/RunRichRun. Click on the donate page to donate whatever you can to St. Jude's Research Hospital. Every dollar raised goes to St. Jude, and Rich raises money when he runs his 40-yard dash, and that will be revealed later today around 2 o'clock. We caught up with Richie Rich before his hosting duties today on the NFL Network, and I asked him, how did Bill Belichick end up in the broadcast booth?
That's amazing. Well, Belichick and Mayock go way back. I mean, I don't know if you're aware about Mike Mayock's football life, but he was the 265th pick of the 1981 NFL draft by the Steelers, and walked in as a bright-eyed kid from Boston College and saw basically, the entire Steel Curtain Steelers at the end of their career. It was like the night at the museum. All the busts came alive, and they were in his locker room. And he didn't last there. He got cut, and he played at the CFL for 1 year, and then the Giants in 1982 picked him up. And just like everybody who's trying to break in the NFL, Mayock was a special team player, and his special teams coach, was a coach named Bill Belichick. And he goes, so you just do the math, back to 1982 with Bill. And, I don't know if I'm telling any tales out of school, but, a lot of evaluators pick Mike's brain, and I would proffer to say Belichick's one of them over the years. And so Bill just strolled into the booth. I mean, I'm ready to talk to Mike in a commercial break. I'm showing him, something on my phone, and all of a sudden he's not paying attention. He's looking over my shoulder. He goes, "Hey, Coach." And I turn around, and it's, the guy with 5 Lombardis. And they're chit-chatting, and I'm chit-chatting with him, but now it's time to go back to the broadcast. We're back at a commercial break. I'm putting my headset on, and Mike's still talking to Bill, and stuff's going on. And all of a sudden, Willie McGinnis is on the field. So I start telling him, "You never guess who's here." Mayock now has his headset back on at this point, and for the first couple of minutes of that segment, we were relaying what Bill was saying to Willie on the field through our microphones, which isn't the best thing. And as you would imagine, Dan, our producers in the truck are screaming, "Put the headset on him," But Mayock and I talked about this afterwards. We both thought the same thing. It's like, look, we want coaches around here at the Combine to feel free to just come in and just stop by and say hello or say whatever they want to say, drop some information if they want to or not, but just feel free to come in and out. We don't want them to think that every time they walk in, we're going to try to throw a headset on them. So we didn't do that. And then at one point, it just became apparent to us that, okay, I think he really wanted to talk to Willie McGinnis too. So I did what few people are in their lives are basically do, which is hand their own headset to Bill Belichick, and then off the segment went.
Well, he was a little passive-aggressive there, wanting to get in a couple of digs at the Colts, which I thought was pretty funny. It was like a private conversation with him and Willie. Like, yeah, I remember they were throwing stuff at me, and remember that 4th down and 2, and remember.
Well, that one was not a good moment for him. I mean, that was like one of those self-deprecating Belichick moments that you don't really hear very often, and that was one of the neat things. And as soon as he left, that's Mayock saying to me, he wishes that more fans would get to see that side of Belichick, which is a little bit of an edge about himself and a sense of humor, and for 2.5, 3 minutes, it was just neat. It was completely, and that was the best part about it. It was obvious that it was not planned. It came out of nowhere, and he, had a nice. We eavesdropped. I think we listened in.
When John Ross gets ready for the 40 and then he's done with the 40, does it feel, is there a sense that you just saw something a little different aside from seeing the clock? But is the reaction? Does it tell you, if you didn't have a clock up there, of what people just saw?
Well, it's interesting that you'd say that because of all the 40s, Dan, all of them, for this year, even the year before, our running clock did not run on him. It was the one time that there was a malfunction, and it was on John Ross. So we actually did have to do what we just asked, which is to assume or wonder or think, did we just see something that we do believe looked pretty damn fast? And sure enough, then the time 4:22 popped up. But Steve Smith recently retired. Steve Smith is part of our crew here now. And he said, very Nostradamus-like, we went to him on the field because he was roaming around with the wide receivers for the broadcast that day. He said, I was watching John Ross warm up, and the way that he was coming out of his stance was faster than anybody I've seen here or in a long time. He goes, I think he's going to run a really long time. So I said, should CJ2K be sitting up in his seat right now? And he goes, yeah, I think he should. And then, boom, that happened. And we waited about a half an hour for the official time. And it came back that the 4.22 stuck. And, that was amazing. The kid should have done what Dion did, everyone was saying, which is back in the day, which is run your 40 and run out the tunnel and into a waiting car and go to the airport. He did not do that, but he didn't work out. In effect, he did that.
He's Rich Eisen, the NFL Network. They're continuing their coverage of the NFL Combine. By the way, go to NFL.com/RunRichRun. Click on the donate button. You can donate whatever you would like to the St. Jude's Children's Research Hospital that Rich has been a strong proponent of, been active in that charity for a long time. Every dollar raised goes to St. Jude. And by the way, Rich is he's run his 40, I believe. Is that right?
Yes.
And then you reveal it today.
Books,
okay.
Yes.
So today at 2 Eastern on the NFL Network that you'll reveal.
Right around then. It depends on how the skills go. It could be 1:45. And,
okay.
This year I was particularly excited. I don't know because you were probably on the air Friday when Damian Mama, the offensive lineman of USC, ran a 5.84. Which means all I had to do was just shave off 1/10 of a second, and I would actually finally beat a player at the combine. I called him my pace car, Dan. He's my pace car, and we reveal that. What won't be pretty though is my simulcam of my 40 over John Ross. I'm just hoping that I'm by the 5-yard line before Ross is out of the screen, which may not be the case, to be very honest with you.
The final item here, and it's troubling. We spent some time on this already.
Yeah.
How does Mitch Trubisky go to Mitchell Trubisky?
I don't know. That usually goes the other way around, doesn't it? When was the last time you were Daniel?
My mom.
Was the last time?
Okay. Only with my mom. I was always in trouble. Like, I would think if Mitch Trubisky threw an interception, it would be, Mitchell, get over here!
Well, whatever his middle name is, you'd have to include his middle name, too.
Mitchell Wayne Trubisky, get over here!
My favorite tweet I saw in response to that was Schefter tweeted out that Mitch Trubisky wants us now all to call him Mitchell, and somebody retweeted that and said, "Lighten up, Francis." That was one of my favorite. That was my favorite tweet. Lighten up, Francis.
Little stripes mentioned there.
Oh yeah,
I love that.
You touch my stuff. I don't know. I mean, but it did take Mayock at least an hour to get that out of his system. He kept calling him Mitch, and I kept looking at him, and he rolled his eyes at me, as only Mike Mayock can.
It's not Joseph Montana, Daniel Marino, or Jonathan Elway.
It is true. I do remember when I was filling out my labels of my 3/4-inch resume reels trying to get a job in our business, Dan. I made a very specific decision because I was Richard growing up my entire life, and I just thought there's no sportscasters named Richard, and I wasn't going to go the Dick route, Dan. So I just went Rich, and that has stuck. But my mom still does slip into calling me Richard every now and then.
I call you very, very Rich Eisen.
Thank you very much, Dan. I appreciate that.
We can't wait today for the unveiling of Rich's 40-yard dash, and if you're taking the under at 5.83.
Is that what it is? Yeah. Oh, no, under of Damian Mama.
Yes.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, Mama's a pace car.
Yes.
Yeah, Mama's a pace car. Yeah. I don't want to give any, I can't give anything away.
Of course not.
I can't give anything away.
Mama said knock you out. Thank you, Rich.
Take care,
See you, bud.
See you, Dan.
Rich Eisen running his 40 today, later on. Paulie, you're giving me stink face.
Rich, when you brought up the 40, he didn't sound like his usual jovial, confident self. I have the feeling it didn't go great in comparison to past years, based on his tone, unless he's sandbagging us.
Well, wasn't his goal just to break 6?
Yeah.
That's a big leap to go under 6 to 5.83 so he can beat somebody at the combine. Is Rich going to be in the picture with John Ross when they go side by side there?
Not for long.
Yeah. It'll be beep, beep. It's like the Roadrunner. Beep, beep.
The Dan Patrick Show, weekday mornings on Audience.